Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The would-be judges, the 144,000, the tabernacle of David, which are ordained to be the ruling class government here on earth above all people upon the face of the earth, as it tells you in Deuteronomy 7:6. To bring the laws of heaven on earth as it is in heaven to all the nations. To them will the nations seek. All right. The tabernacle of David, the 144,000, 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes of Israel, enforcing the laws of the Bible upon the people, being the judges of the earth, under the authority of who the world fraudulently and falsely call JC. And to the rest of the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, not just Europe, but scattered around the four corners of the earth, among all people that are to be gathered up by the Lord upon his return. All right, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations. And to the few Akwath, meaning the sisters that are listening and learning. To you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson in truth and reading scriptures and listening to videos this morning. The Spirit came upon me to do this lesson, and I started, and this like a commercial. The YouTube now puts those annoying ads in between every video, sometimes multiple, because it's not YouTube anymore. And in this one, they're condemning themselves. They're admitting their guilt of the wrongs that are done to Jake, the Lamentations. So this is the state of Illinois about the Oddie homes, where the juvenile detention centers, and so you can see them. There's one in Cook County. That one's on Roosevelt. You got Kane County in St. Charles. They made a movie about St. Charles in the early 80s. All right. Then you got Knox County in Galesburg, Illinois. Lake County in Vernon Hills, Illinois. LaSalle County, Ottawa, Illinois. St. Clair County Detention Center. Adams County Juvenile Detention Center, Quincy, Illinois. And Champaign County Detention Center, Urban, Illinois. And all these are owned, many, many years ago. All right. I was sitting at the coffee table. at a kitchen table having coffee with one of the wealthiest men in America. All right. He's definitely up in the low-level elite. All right. An elite banker. Okay, very well known. You see him on TV all the time. I'm not going to say his name. But, this was early on in the truth for me. And I was, his wife and two of his daughters were clients of mine. Didn't really realize how close to evil I was. And I remember asking this man about, and he really legitimately tried to help me to come up. But I had too much integrity to do it. And he told me to invest. He said, this may sound negative to you, but you don't know anything about trading. And the safest thing you can do and the way you can get a return on your money and get some money was to invest in the prison systems. But I knew enough that the prison systems railroaded my people specifically. I knew that they dealt unjustly and unfairly and let the enemy off often and didn't give the same amount of punishment and justice. So with that being said, I'm going to read from the book of Lamentation. All right. And I'm not going to read the whole book, but I'm going to read scriptures from each of the chapters. Okay, because we watched a video where we did a response to a video yesterday. And, you know, and it started with the AI video with a Edomite older woman talking to her granddaughter, it would appear, about how nervous and she was afraid of the things that was going on in the world and in America, and how she's also heard that so-called black people are the true children of Israel, you know, and is that true? And if it is true, then we're in a lot of trouble. Not that I'm sorry, but we're in a lot of trouble. And she was absolutely right. Then they had the other Edomites come on and say that, you know, there's no way they can be the people. Look how poor they are. Look at the way they act. When they have ownership. All right. And that's that. And no, the curses in the Bible pretty much tell you the condition that they would be in. And they would be on the bottom. They'd be the victim. And they'd be for a spoil and for a prey. And everyone would make money off them, mock them. And they will be the lowest in every society that they got scattered to. So in the book of Lamentations, without any further ado, we're just going to start reading here. This is Lamentations 1 and 3. And it said, Judah is gone into captivity because of the affliction, because of the great servitude. She dwelleth among the heathen. She findeth no rest. All her persecutors overtook her between the straits. And the ways of Zion do mourn, because none of the solemn feasts, all her gates, all desolate. Her priests sigh, her virgins are afflicted. She is in bitterness. Her adversaries are chief. See, so they're chief over our people on the bottom. They wouldn't have a voice. They wouldn't have a military. They wouldn't have help. All right. This is a condition that they were put in by Yahweh himself. Okay. Esau, Edom, and so-called. And I always wondered as a child when I would look at combat sports and other things, how did these people conquer it? How? They're so weak and rhythmless and saltless. I was thinking this as a kid. And now, you know, the Lord has given us the answers. We saw our teachers, man. And the water for the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Right? The scripture said, thou shalt see thy teachers, man. All right, because it's the Lord that did this to us. He placed these weak, pathetic individuals over us that overdid what they were supposed to do. They went above and beyond the oppression and suppression. Her adversaries are chief, her enemies prosper. Yahweh have afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions. Her children are gone into captivity. And the daughter of Zion, all her beauty is departed. Her princes are become like horts. They find no pasture. They are gone without strength before the pursuer. All right, I've heard women, y'all niggas ain't got no military, I ain't got no, right? You know, the wicked daughters of Zion, you know, the Micah 7 and 10. All right, because you know, they are referred to as our enemy. It says, in thou enemy she shall see it, man. Because unfortunately, part of the curses, our women sided with our enemies. The same way you see those curses reverting, because a lot of Edomite women are siding with Jake and are against their men. And a lot of the history that we use to condemn them is a lot of it came out from them, and a lot of it was brought out by their women. See, the curses are starting to work in reverse now. It says, Jerusalem remembered in the days of her affliction, and all her miseries and all her pleasant things she had in the days of old, when her people fell into the hand of the enemy, and none did help. None helped. It says, and the adversary saw her and did mock at her Sabbath. So all the nations, that confederacy, all right, they got together in Psalms 83. They all rejoiced over our downfall. Okay. Lamentations, the second chapter. That was just from the first chapter. Lamentations, the second chapter. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with the cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the days of his anger. The Lord hath swallowed up all the habitations of Jacob, and have not pitied. He hath thrown down the wrath of his strongholds of the daughter of Judah. He hath brought them down to the ground, and have polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof. That's why their Edomites sit chief amongst the people and sit chief in our house. All right, let's go to Jude 1 and 6. Because we've fallen. This is Jude 1:6, and it says, and the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, have reserved in everlasting chains of darkness unto the judgment of the great day. Those angels, that's what they fraudulently call the Nephilim, the Israelites were those angels that were there in the beginning. Right? In Ephesians, the first chapter, they were there in creation in the beginning. And they were referred to as the sons of God before they were called the Israelites. And they were cast down, meaning they were cast down from their greatness to become normal men. They left their first estate and became human, became men. All right? So that wasn't the first time we failed. Okay? Let's go to Psalms 107 and 10. And it reads, such as sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, being bound to affliction and iron. See, we're bound as men in the flesh now. Bound to the affliction that is continually done to us by the Edomites and the heathens that have joined unto them. And now even those heathens are trying to separate from Edom. Okay? Even they are trying to separate from them. But we're still on the bottom. Collectively. Lamentations 2 and 5. The Lord was an enemy and have swallowed up Israel. He has swallowed up all her palaces. He have destroyed his strongholds and have increased the daughter of Judah, mourning and lamentation. And he have violently taken away his tabernacle, as if it were a garden. He have destroyed his places of the assembly. The Lord have caused the solemn feasts and Sabbaths to be forgotten in the Zion, and have despised in indignation of his anger, and the king and the priests. Yahweh have cast off his altar. He have abhorred his sanctuary. He has given it up into the hand of the enemy, the walls of her palaces. They have made a noise in the house of Yahweh, as in the days of the solemn feast. Okay? Let's grab a couple precepts. This is Job 9 and 24. All right? Because see, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. Let's read it. They didn't take it. The Lord gave it into the hand of the wicked. He gave it to the lowest. He gave it to Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, who was the main enemy of ours. And they've lied, covered up history, erased history, omitted history. The earth, Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, the judges thereof, if not, wherein who is he? He covered up the faces of the judges, the true judges of the earth, and he put up his face. He put up his face as if they were the judges of the earth, and they are not. All right, this is our 2 Ezra 13 and 37. And it reads, and this my son shall rebuke the wicked and vengeance of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempter. So the Lord set these people up to rule over us. But once again, Esau, Edom went above and beyond his destruction. When our affliction was at an end, they continued it. All right. It says, I'm back in Lamentations 2 and 8. And it says, Yahweh have purposed to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. He hath stretched out a line, he have not withdrawn his hand from destroying. Therefore he have made the rampart and the wall to lament their language together. Her gates are sunk into the ground. He have destroyed the broken bars. Her king and her princes are among the Gentiles. And not just Europe. And remember, Europe sits in Asia. You know, that whole false concept of that's where so-called white people came from. White people came from Jordan. All right, from Mount Seir, which is south of Israel. That's where they actually came from. That was their first mountain homes, which was called Petra, and Petra was also called Selah. Okay, just recently, and that's what Esau called it. Petra was called Selah. All right, and so it was, in Psalms 83, that it was Esau, Edom, the chief of the wicked, the chief house of that alliance, of that confederacy of the nations that came against the Israelites. All right, it's back in Lamentations 2:10. The elders of the daughter of Zion sit upon the ground. They keep silence. They have cast up dust upon their heads. They have girded themselves with sackcloth. The virgins of Jerusalem hang down their heads to the ground. And we're literally hanging. They just found a Jake hanging the other day in Texas. All right. This is Jeremiah 14:2. And it reads, Judah mourneth at the gates thereof language. They are black, meaning they are Kedar, dark skinned, like the ground, unto the ground. And the city of Jerusalem is gone up. And it was the Lord that gave the city of Jerusalem over into the hand of Esau, Edom, the Edomites. As a matter of fact, the whole world was given into their hands as punishment to the children of Israel. And it gives you in their first account of Esau coming into power to fulfill prophecy, not of his own doing, but the Lord set up Esau, Edom. He set them up to be the wicked rulers of the earth. This is first Maccabees 1:9. All right, referring back to Alexander. It says, and after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, so that their sons after them, and many evils were multiplied in the earth. All right, so evils were multiplied in the earth when Alexander of Macedon came into power and brought the Edomite race into power over the melanated Greeks, over the melanated people of Asia. All right, that's what he did. The Etruscans, the Japhetic people, were melanated people. AI would try to speak against that now. You know, they program AI to try and match up with their lies. All right, because they'll double talk. Okay, those were melanated people, and they took over those places and started setting themselves up. And when you follow Esau, Edom, throughout his rulerships, throughout his reign of evil here on earth, every place that he colonized and took over, he took on the name of that place. See, Esau, Edom is a fugitive and a vagabond still running from judgment. This is Lamentation 3, which is the longest chapter in the book of Lamentation. It says, so I'm going to read Lamentations 3, and I'm going to just jump through it, but this is verses 1 and 2. It says, I am the man that have seen affliction by the rod of his wrath. He have led me and brought me into the darkness, but not into light. So the Israelites were brought low, which is why they're in the condition that they're in. While their children are locked up in these wicked places like this, being sexually assaulted and messed over, and then released, you know, as young men, and can't get jobs because the fact that they were in these places, these, you know, that you're reading on the screen, follow them, so they can't get decent jobs. And the whole thing is that they fall right back into the same life now as adults. So now they're in and out of adult prisons, filling up these prison houses, making its private owners money. Hence the reason why that particular banker told me to invest in the prisons. All right, which the court systems unfairly railroad my people, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, into these systems, while they don't do the same with their own, which commit the majority of the crimes. All right. You know, and then it's funny too. I should have pulled it up. But Lamentation 3, all right, because I have a note here. it actually, when it says he have brought me into darkness, I've seen the rod of his wrath in Lamentations 3:1-2, I instantly thought of the movie Django and the scene with D'Artagnan. When he said, hey, when he told his slave catcher, send D'Artagnan to nigger heaven, because D'Artagnan did not want to fight anymore. He had lost an eye. He was tired of fighting. Right? He was making him be a Mandingo fighter, making him fight other Jakes to the death. D'Artagnan got tired of it and he ran. He didn't want to fight no more. They hunted him down, and then in front of Django, all right, he said he sent D'Artagnan to what the Edomite or Leonardo DiCaprio playing the role of an Edomite, because I believe that Leonardo DiCaprio is actually one of them scattered Israelites. He's got too much salt to be an Edomite. He said, you know, he told the good old boy slave catcher, send D'Artagnan to nigger heaven, and he sent to let the hunting dogs rip D'Artagnan to pieces. And that's been the condition of the Israelites, because see, Esau Edom went above and beyond, and he's in that spirit again with ice. Okay, Lamentations 3 and 14. I was in derision I was a derision to all my people and their song all day. He hath filled me with bitterness. He hath made me drunken with wormwood. He hath broken my teeth with gravel and stone. He hath covered me with ashes. Thou hast removed my soul far off from peace, and I forgot prosperity. And it's beautiful because now you're seeing these Edomites, you know, those curses are now falling upon them. The same way as the curses of Deuteronomy 28 chapter, we wore like a blanket. Now they're starting to wear those curses. And at the hand of their own people, is their own and their own hate. They have so much hate for Jacob that they will vote against policy that would actually benefit Edomites, but they will vote against it simply just to deny Jacob, because when they realize that these Latinos and these Negroes going to get these benefits too, oh no, they will vote against it to their own detriment. And now look at them. Voting for Trump was basically what I just said. Putting them in office have put them in dire straits and financial straits. Deuteronomy 30:7. And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee. And see, that's the beauty, is that these curses are now falling upon Esau. He's starting to wear these curses like a blanket, man. Jumping down to Lamentations 3:46. All our enemies have opened their mouths against us. They lie. Make fun of us, make mockery of us. I didn't do nothing. All right. And now that's gonna fall upon them, and it's beautiful. Fear and snare has come upon us in desolation and destruction. You can be the most lawful of U.S. citizens, and you still get nervous when the police come around you, because law-abiding citizens get beat up, arrested, and shit happens to them every day. All right. My eye runneth down with rivers of water for the destruction of the daughter of my people. My eye trickleth down and ceaseth not without any intermission. Till Yahweh looked down and behold from heaven, my enemy affected my heart, because all the daughters of my city, my enemies, chased me sore like a bird without cause. You know, you see how the little Edomite kids and the kids or the pigeons are walking around downtown, and the birds land, and they just start chasing them. That's us, for no reason at all. It's like I can't even walk down the sidewalk without peace. All right. They have cut off my life in a dungeon and have cast me up. And matter of fact, let's go to Isaiah, because you know that the little hats, they're not experiencing this. The Israelites, this is one of the conditions they will be in. This is Isaiah 42:22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. They are all hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth for a spoil, and none saith restore. They don't want to give us reparations or anything, knowing that we deserve. You give reparations to the little hats from America, and they're not even America. And the so-called crimes that really are questionable, the facts are extremely questionable, It didn't even happen on American soil. They're not even from here, but yet they get reparations. And the people who actually built America, because Esau was screaming how he built, you didn't build shit. All right. You benefited from it being built for you. All right. And now they're suffering because the Edomites here in America are suffering and broken poor because all their money keep going over to their brothers over there, the little hats, while they suffer. While you can't feed your families, that's why we're on the verge of a civil war, that these Edomites are about to start pew-pewing each other. And I actually look forward to it. Hurry up. It's Lamentations 3:49. My eye trickleth down and ceaseth not without my intermission, till Yahweh look down and behold from heaven my affection, my heart, because all of the daughters of my city, my enemies, chase me sore like a bird without cause. They have cut off my life in a dungeon and have cast a stone upon me. Waters flow over my head, and I said, I am cut off. I call upon thy name, O Yahweh, out of the low dungeon. Thou hast heard my voice. Hide not thy ear at my breathing, at my cry. Thou dwellest near in the day that I call upon thee, and thou saidest, feareth not. O Yahweh, thou pleadest the cause of my soul, and thou hast redeemed my soul. O Yahweh, thou hast seen my wrong. Judge thou my cause. Thou hast seen all their vengeance and all their imagination against me. Thou hast heard their reproach, O Yahweh, and all their imagination against me. The lips of those that rose up against me and their devices against me, they call us black. All right, and then they got our people drunk with that word, drunk with that ideology, not understanding that black literally means grotesque, ugly, nasty, unworthy, hateful, violent, malignant, all these negative things. And that's what they call us. All right. And our people are so drunk with stupidity and drunk with madness that they actually embrace that name, embrace that title. Behold, they're sitting down and they're rising up. I am their music. They love to be entertained by us. Whether it be in the arena, whether it be in the courts, having fun watching us suffer, or rather it be listening to us sing and dance their song to entertain them. Render unto them a recompense, O Yahweh, according to the work of their hands. Give them sorrow of heart. Thy curse unto them. Persecute and destroy them in anger from under the heavens, Yahweh. From under the heavens of Yahweh. So now their heavens, meaning their rulership, is being brought low. And they're destroying themselves. All right? Lamentations 4:1. How is the gold become dim? How is my most fine gold charged? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out into the top of every street. The precious son of Zion's comparable to fine gold, how they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter. So we've been brought low. Our gold doesn't have its shine anymore, its worth, because of them. And now the Lord has seen our affliction, okay? Because of I'm looking for, is it Ezekiel or Isaiah? Let me look. Yeah, this is Ezekiel 35:5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, and in the time of their calamity, in the time when their iniquity hath an end. See, when they were supposed to stop, they kept going. Like the Energizer bunny of evil, they kept going. Therefore, thus as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it that passeth out, and him that returneth, and I will fill his mountain with his slain men, and thy hills, and thy valleys, and all their rivers shall they fall that are slain by the sword. So it's not just going to be Ukrainian men dead, bodies all over the place, while their women are all up in the club with Jakes. That's surfacing. While Ukrainian Edomites are going and fighting, their women are frolicking with the Negroes. Oh, let me close this blind. To their shame and embarrassment. All right? So it's not just going to be them that are suffering. All of you Edomites, and the American ones, the Israeli ones, all you Edomites are going to suffer the same fate, because the Lord is now visiting you. The curses are now falling upon you. The water Yahweh Bashem Awashai. This is Lamentations 4. We get ready to wrap. All right, and this is speaking on the appearance of the Israelites when you see them. Their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It has become like a stick. Their visage, all right, okay, they were swarthy originally, and they will be returned to that upon the gathering of where they're scattered from. Because remember, many of our people in the millions are scattered to these other nations among these other people. The Lord's going to gather his elect out of them. All right, only the elect. The rest of them are just going to die in those conditions until they're born back into the kingdom. All right, born back into the kingdom of heaven, which will be here on earth. All right, on earth as it is in heaven. That's why the Lord prayer reads that way. And this is Lamentations 4:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, thou that dwelleth in the land of Uz. So, it's pretty much over. The mirth is completely gone from Edom. Okay, the elites are filling their cups while the rest of you are broken, suffering with the niggas now, with the spiggers. Okay, and you're seeing that your racism has betrayed you, that your history is false, that you're frauds. All right, you are not the Scots, you are not the Irish, you are not the Vikings. All right, you are none of that. You weren't the Spartans. You didn't rule during the Dark Ages. You didn't rule during medieval times. You fell. The first 300 years of Rome and the last portion of Rome were all dark people. All right? You lost your precious Rome to that. And you got to understand, this is why they hate you so much. That's the most recent history and affliction that Jake put upon Esau. That 1,000-year period when Satan was locked up, when he was put down. Unto his belly he went. That was the Dark Ages in the medieval time. He came back into power. He was loose for that little season. That adversary, that human adversary. Esau Edom came back into power, and he whitewashed and lied about history. And now the truth is coming out, and he's trying to use AI and everything else to omit and change history again. All this stuff is coming from their own books and their own information. All right? And they're trying to stop it. Once again, Lamentations 4:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee, and thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. You've been exposed. And the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And through the mouth of his prophets, that is exactly what's happening. And this is the last. Jake is getting ready to go through it. The whole world is. Edom is going through it. All Jacob's trouble is everybody's trouble. But it also spells the destruction of Esau Edom. Because he's going to come with this great wrath and spill all this blood and do all these things. And as soon as he begins to put his hands on the Lord's elect, he is going to fall painfully and violently. He's going to create this chaos. And he's going to come with his remedy is to take the MOTB, to go digital and implant everything in everyone so that he can control everyone, control all information, control all people and finances, and become a god. And the moment that he goes to fill his belly, sudden destruction comes. And that's where we are. So buckle up, because the ride is about to get rough. We got about 5-6 days. Actually it's Monday the 27th. So Saturday is the 1st. No more WIC, no more SNAP, no more EBT. And it's actually Edomites that benefit from that more. They like to make so-called black women, Hispanic women, the welfare queens, the face of that, when reality, it's more white people on welfare and getting assistance from the government than so-called minorities. That's the truth of the matter. And now all hell is getting ready to break loose. So call halal Yahweh Bashim al Shai Bashim Rakah Kwadash Kwam Yasharallah Abad Babal.